Avengers.
Were you expecting someone else? Let's start the show.
You guys are so screwed now! Boom, 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 boom. It is I, it is he, it is me, P-double-D-E Temple Cooey from the Place to Be Reviews, right here with all of yous, Fandom Menace Friday Night Live, the Fandom Menace People's Champion, right here with all of yous. A great chat I have on this show every week. And speaking of greatness, and on a weekly basis, I have a kick-ass great co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring him in right now, Mr. Tony Tone Deaf.
It is the owner of the worst channel on YouTube and commander to the Legion of Deaf Heads. It's the world's wokest warrior, primitive-sided, toxic fanboy aligned with the like-minded. Tony Tone Deaf rocking with you. Friday night here, the Place to Be Reviews. What's up, everybody out there in Chatsville? Everyone on the panel, the pleasure's all mine. I'm looking forward to a great show. It's Friday. Let's get it started.
Right. Welcome, brother. Welcome. And our guest this evening, Mr. Donald Osborne. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You are welcome. Glad to have you on. And why don't you go ahead and tell the folks what it exactly is that your project is that you're working on here on Indigogo.
The project on Indigogo is called Everlasting Survivors. It is a 68-page graphic novel, all finished, ready to print and be shipped out as soon as the campaign ends.
All right.
Hey, look at that! There it is.
There we go, right there. We wanted to get some pictures up on this right here, and we'll take a look through these. And if you want to go ahead and talk about any of the panels or anything on here that you have available for a preview. Yeah, go ahead, man. Sure.
Yeah, so these panels here are from the second artist. His name is Nick Crook. He finished up what me and Jeff Hicks had started, and so he did 15 pages. This so unfortunately I uploaded these backwards. So if you start the other way and work it,
here.
I don't even know why that it did that, but yeah, you can see the. All right, perfect. Okay, so now we're at the beginning because I tried it both ways and I thought, anyway, I did it wrong, but it's my first Indiegogo. But yeah, so these first 5 pages are pages Jeff did. This is the lead antagonist. He is not revealed here in this here particular scene, but he is guiding the ship or leading the way for all these here bad guys, planning out what they're going to do with their big day. If you go to the next one.
Yes.
They don't all get along so what's going on? I really don't like, so as you can see from the thumbnail, there's far more going on in this page, but for some reason I just get this little sliver. But I also uploaded these all down at the bottom. If you could scroll, I don't know if you can. Yeah. Oh, you can. Look at that. And right now we'll be able to see the full page. Perfect. That's way better. But yeah, so this is Professor Foleymoore the Fourth. He's got all these henchmen that he's got set up to do 3 primary tasks for the day. But like I said, if you scroll, you're going to see that not all of his bad guys are on the same page. Some are true believers in his path. Others are just there for the money. So they're getting into it. But his top bad guys tell him to knock it the fuck off. I'm allowed to curse, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, cool. I didn't with Jeff because I was trying to be professional, but then he started cursing. I was like, I don't know what the right thing to do is.
Yeah, man. We're pretty pro First Amendment here. So yeah, go right ahead. Let them fly if you need to.
Yeah, I'm not going to be liberal, but I will be free with the language. But I just got to point out that I love the emphasis on the word now from the letterer here. Oh my goodness, I love the letterer. I love this whole team. But yeah, if you keep scrolling, like I said, what we're doing here is we're setting up everything that's going on and throughout the issue with the villains. Once we get past this page, we start introducing and setting up what the heroes are up to. So one of the three primary heroes is filthy rich. That's why he's living in this big old mansion. So Reese Shaw, the guy sitting on the chair in the background, this is his house. He was a stunt man. A stunt went wrong. He got blown up and got powers. I know how, but it isn't revealed here in this particular issue how that all three of them get powers. But as long as the campaign gets backed, everything will be revealed as time goes forward.
Okay.
So like I said, in here we're setting up how the characters interact with each other, what's going on. So Reese and Fabiana they're adopted siblings, and so that's why she's messing with him, because they just have that close relationship. And Dom and Anna are a couple.
Okay.
And so if we keep going on to the next one is when we start with keep going. Is when we get into the second artist. So these are 5 pages of the 15 from this artist. Again, so all they're doing is they're going to a charity event to raise money for these kids. But what this really does is it introduces the heroes by name and in uniform, and in just a fun, flashy way for the reader. And so it's Jeff and Nick have 2 totally different styles, but thankfully the colorists were able to marry the pages together in a way to make it feel like it's the same world. And so that was very important, because I was actually talking about Jeff about this last week. I was very worried when it came to colors, because these pages have to feel like they're from the same place and time. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's been a crazy 2 weeks, and there are 2 more weeks left until it's finished up, the campaign, I mean. There are so many things that I've run into where I was like, man, if only I'd have done this differently or better, or I don't know. I wish that Jeff still lived in Ohio, because he had experience, or has experience doing a campaign already. Yeah. And the learning curve is not fun, but I still have faith that the project is going to work. I just need to get people excited, because what's been happening is people have been looking, but not supporting. Yeah. And so I did the math recently. I need 628 people. If I can get 628 people to buy 1 book, everything changes. Everything's finished and everything is awesome. The story can continue. So the bright side about the book being done is, if anybody backs it, they're going to get their book. But if the campaign doesn't get fully funded, I don't know where I'm going to find the money to keep the story going. That's really what the goal is all about, is keeping the story going. Because by the book being done, I can get it printed tomorrow and shipped out. That's easy. But I'm not independently wealthy. I'm not prior famous. I don't have I just don't have money laying around to get more art so that the story can go. But if people will back the book, my goal is to have a 68-page book in your hand each season. This is the spring release. I want to do a summer, a fall, and a winter every year.
Okay. I like it. A little quarterly.
Well, and the other thing is, once those are collected, once each year is collected into a hardcover, it's going to be more than what the mainstream folks are putting out each year anyway. And so, yes, you have a bit of a delay between, you can't go in each month and pick up an issue at the local comic shop, but you're getting more each time, and it's coming directly to you also.
Yes. So that's good though. I like that. Especially like you have like this overarching story, and so you do quarterly, you do for a year. That there's a nice build up there though. It gives you time to develop the story. It gives the reader time to reread it and take in your nuances and things like that to your writing. Really kind of you can learn the characters in that time too. That's the thing about telling a story in that manner, and I like that idea, especially like I said. And everybody's got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? And that
For
is
sure.
It is,
Well,
and I hope we, like I said, I hope we can help you get it backed a little more, get you some more exposure over here, man. That's what it's all about.
I appreciate it. I really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what got us introduced is the fact that Jeff knows that wrestling is what brought us together, and he said that you are another person who has that in common, a person that he has that in common with.
Yep.
And the reason I bring it up is because, so for years, wrestling has had multiple pay-per-views, sometimes more than one a month.
Yeah.
But when it was the core four, when you had that quarterly thing to look forward to, that big, when SummerSlam was big, Royal Rumble was humongous, WrestleMania was amazing,
Survivor Series.
Absolutely. Yeah. It always got a little, less love, but it's still, you had those core foundational events to look forward to, and that's basically what I'm aiming to do, is give the audience these events to look forward to each year, or throughout the year, I mean.
Yep. It is. It's nice, man. Tony, I'm sorry, man. I saw you flip your mic. Tony, do you want to say something?
No, I was just going to mention, I mean, the quarterly definitely isn't a bad format, because like in wrestling, it gives you time to build up the storylines properly, and you're not having to rush worrying about a 30-day, quota or mark every month. You can tell the story how it needs to be told. In a world where attention spans are short and everything is kind of now, it's nice to,
Let it breathe.
Exactly. And it helps keep the story fresh, just having that something to look forward to every 3 months. So,
yeah.
Well, and here's the other thing is that my current artist, this is his first time being paid to work. I was also Jeff's first paid project too, and so another reason why I'm putting the space between is to give everybody a chance to learn the ropes, if you will, to because again, we're not DC and we're not Marvel. We don't have teams of people. It's just trying to make it happen.
And one thing about the workflow I wanted to say too, they always say writing your first book is the toughest, and then after that it just tends to get a little easier. Directing your first movie, writing your first screenplay. So I'm sure I know it's rough starting off from scratch on projects and just kind of going in and letting your passion drive you. But yeah, man, I just wanted to mention, I hope by that second, third book, that workflow, it's just become a process and a procedure, and just I don't want to say get a little easier, because anything you love is worth it, but
for sure, I get where you're coming from.
Yep.
So the way that me and Jeff started is I gave him a 10-page script. It went well, and then I gave him 20 more pages. Went good, and then he got 20 more. And another thing that led to us having a delay between work was when I was wrestling. Oh, hi people! I used to wrestle a little bit. I lost a lot. But when I was wrestling, there were some times when it would be like, oh, we were light tonight. I can't get you. I'll get you next time, kid. And I just didn't want to be like that. I didn't like it for myself, and I sure wasn't going to do it to anybody else. And that's what put some space between the work. Is I would never give Jeff pages if I couldn't pay him for it. But it's all worked out. Everything's good. We got 68 finished pages. They're beautiful. I talked to a printer today. We're gonna meet up, and I'm gonna get to check out a proof next week. And if everything goes well, I should have books in hand by the end of the campaign.
Very nice. Very nice, man. That's it too, is like the turnaround time. And I know that's a problem that some, independent creators you have issues with. And a lot of it is time and money management, and that's it, dude. It has to be hard to, kind of schedule things out, especially like I said, doing like a crowdfunding type campaign like that. But when you like you said, when you know that you can complete it and you can get your product out there, that's got to be a good feeling. You know what I mean?
Oh, it certainly is. And so one of the major things that I did, because I checked out so many different printers, but I made sure that I went with a place that I could just drive up to and say, this is what I want. When can I get it? And no shipping, no getting lost in the mail. No, it snowed today. No, it's fine. I got you. So yeah, there'll be nothing to worry about when it comes to having the product. It will be in hand.
That right there, man. It's all about that. You giving this is people this is why we need to support independent creators. It's like everybody's sick of the mainstream. Everybody's sick of being preached to. Recent examples of comic book faux pas. I mean, look at the new woke warriors. Look at look at Gotham High.
Oh my goodness!
Remember that bullshit?
I know all about it, man.
Oof, I mean, look at the new She-Hulk, man. They took and I sat here one night on air and dug through a box of comics to find one of my Avengers ones with Jennifer Walters on the cover from the 80s, or the 90s, the old Jennifer Walters. It was hot, funny, broke the fourth wall, not Hulk with a ponytail. I mean, I'm all for, like, I love fit women, man, but I'm like, that's a dude with a ponytail. That is just like, that is messed up. So yeah, this is why we need to support independent creators, because
I don't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, you're good, man.
But so I was giving out the link to my Indiegogo to some people at my work. And one of the people checked it out, like, oh, I love how diverse it is. And I was like, shit, I don't want people to think that I'm going down that road, because that ain't what I'm doing. Yeah, the characters, there are different ethnicities, but we ain't playing the woke warrior game. We ain't playing the purse puppy, pretend stuff. Like, everybody is a legit person with legit problems, and they have to figure out how to deal with all the shit that's going down with all the changes in their lives. I mean, just like back in the good old days of Peter Parker, and every other hero that ever had to deal with problems. People want to say that Superman's perfect. No, he had plenty of problems to deal with. Like, does he have a lot of kick-ass powers? Yes, but he also had problems to deal with. Same with Spider-Man. He's got cool powers, but he also has problems. Like, when I was talking to Jeff last week, I legitimately think that when shit's handed to the character, how am I supposed to care?
Yeah, Mary Sue type characters. I mean, nobody likes that. I mean, really.
Well, so unfortunately, I watched The Force Awakens in theaters.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So the only reason I went is the last time I remembered watching a movie with my father was we were watching Indiana Jones at a drive-in when I was a kid. I was so young, I don't even remember which one it was, but I was like, man, we've never gone to a theater together. We should do that. And when we heard the new Star Wars coming out, we were like, oh great, we love science fiction. We went, walked out, and it was like, what the hell was that? Like, everything just came so easily to this character. She didn't have to earn shit. And we haven't seen a movie together since. And I'm like, thanks for ruining that.
That's what kind of not to shift gears, but that's what trips me out about watching WandaVision right now. Because when you really look at everything that's happened to the Scarlet Witch and her storyline in its entirety, and you compare that to Brie Larson, it's hard to believe it's the same mind behind the two movies. Like one is done just so excellently well, and then
the other's just not.
I don't even want to say fast track, because fast track can work in certain situations, but it's just insulting to anyone who enjoys a good story.
Well, I've enjoyed Wanda. I haven't watched Captain Marvel, so I don't understand exactly the comparison because I've never watched the movie. I thought maybe I should when I was watching Wanda, but so far I'm doing all right.
So Captain Marvel's struggle is before she got her power, she had a sweet life. She's a fighter pilot, probably making great money. She's covering ground, but she keeps having flashbacks to the damn baseball diamond where her dad or her coach or someone's telling her she plays like a girl, because guess what? And that's her struggle compared to Wanda, who lost her parents at a young age, lost her brother, found love, and then was forced to separate from her love and sneak around and barely get to see him, and then has to look him in the eyes and kill him, only to see him go through that pain again by being brought back to life and then killed again and have his body thrown to the side. And I mean, she has gone through so much in comparison to not being able to play fucking bass.
Well, also Captain Marvel couldn't drive the go-karts either.
Yeah, how is this?
She crashed a go-kart too, remember? She suffered, yeah. Tony. She suffered. You're such a bigot. Why do I have such a bigot? What a misogynist.
It's like
you and your toxic masculinity.
How are these from the same people, from the same studio?
Was it Anna Fleck and Ryan Bowden wrote and directed Captain Marvel, and they showed why they'll never do another Marvel movie again. They knew. Yeah. Now you've got Nia DaCosta doing the second one, and she's responsible for the forthcoming Jordan Peele executive produced Candyman cinematic abortion we're going to watch. So I don't see Captain Marvel 2, and I've watched it 3 times. I watched it once. I was on the high seas the night it premiered in theaters, and it was already out online, so I watched it that way. It was shite. And then I watched it twice because I wrote and did a review for my Is It Woke series for it. And it's just a bad movie. It's not really, the marketing was woke, but the movie itself is shite. And that's why, Tony, like you said, you can't compare this like half-baked character. You know, it's like when you throw something in the oven and it comes out all doughy and just like it's not fully formed into what it should be. She's like a half-burnt biscuit is what Carol Danvers is, compared to Scarlet Witch, who has like been fully prepared and she's ready to go,
For sure, yeah.
It's like when the pizza doesn't cook all the way and just the very bottom center of the dough's a little doughy compared to like a nice New York style pizza. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, because Captain Marvel is marketable, in my opinion. They could have taken her and made her an A-list character if they did it right. And it should have been in Phase 4 instead of forcing her into...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like they tried like the day that Brie Larson tweeted that, "Hey, Entertainment Weekly, want to break the internet?" I was like, oh shit. Because I knew they'd been talking about Captain Marvel, and here it comes. It's like she's Captain Marvel. It's like the bitch from that movie where she was a victim. Oh wow, this will be good, And then you look. I started looking into the comics, and I'm like, oh, like Carol Danvers, Ms. Marvel. She was hot, man. Her character was all right. Like I said, I just like the way she was drawn too, but. I mean, she was drawn well. It wasn't a bad character. Then you get into the Kelly Sue DeConnick stuff, and it's just like like you took the last train to Wokesville.
Yeah. I love the cooking metaphors because having fully developed characters is the most important thing to telling a story. If you,
Yes.
if you don't know how they got where they are, or don't know where they're going, then how are you going to convey the idea of what the hell's going on to the audience? And thankfully, I know how the characters got where they are, and I certainly know where they're going, and I can't wait for everybody to find out. Because, I mean, that's the exciting thing is,
Yeah.
I was talking to a coworker the other day, and he said, what would you do if one of the big two came a calling, or anybody for that matter? He don't really know much about comics, so he was just going like Marvel or DC. I said, well, shit, I can't sell out. I was like, I couldn't take the chance that these characters would go to a place that I know they shouldn't go. Like I know these people. What's that?
They change it. One of them would become a pink-haired. Yeah, they change your story.
Space.
Well, I'll give them a defense. If they turn Dom's hair pink, at least we can blame the promoter. So Dom is the wrestler in the comic. He's the blue guy in the singlet. Yeah. So we'll just blame Vinnie Mac if that happens.
I was picking that up when you laid that one down. I'm like, oh, he's dropping work terms.
Now we need some blue-skinned stereotypes that are deeply hurtful, so we can put them into a tag team with. Yeah. Anyway,
some kind of stereotypical ethnic tag team. Yeah, that's a Vince staple right there.
I'll never forget the Silverback.
Oh God. Yeah, with Mark Henry. Yeah, I was like, when they started calling him that, I was like, ooh, that's probably not a good fucking look, Vince.
And they're like, well, Mark Henry isn't offended. I'm like, yeah, I'd let someone call me a Silverback too for millions of dollars a year. What about the other millions of people watching?
Yeah, well, look, and you're also talking to someone. You're speaking about Vince McMahon, who on national television live walked by John Cena and said, "What's up, my?" I'll let your imagination fill in the other five letters there in the epithet that Vince McMahon used, not in an insulting or derogatory way, more as a friendly or jovial greeting, albeit a misplaced one when used by a 60-year-old white man addressing another white dude. With Booker T, who is, for those of you not familiar with wrestling, a black man, and his real life wife, who was his manager, Charmel, who is black. And then Vince walks by Booker T with that Vince walk, and I love Booker T. Tell me he didn't just say that. I was like, oh, that was a shot at Booker, though. You know that was because Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
I'm coming for you.
Yep. And then, dude, that is still one of my favorite like faux pas.
The expression on his face is priceless.
And dude, that spoke to Sherry Martel as a manager, because as soon as he said that, she steered it away from him to Stevie Ray, and you see her behind the scenes. She was kind of like, "It's okay, just relax." It was like
so professional.
She was a godsend to them. She really was.
Oh, absolutely.
Her psychology for the business was just unfucking paralleled. She, a lot of people overlook her. I say I still use the term and I hate it, but I use it anyway. The marks, really over some of them, they overlook her still. It's like, who's the greatest, woman in business? Everyone's the Trish Stratus. I'm like, spare me with that. All right.
Trish was eye candy. She's like Hulk Hogan.
She got better.
Well, I think a lot of it just depends on your age, and because I had this conversation that somebody saw a conversation about the greatest of all time on Facebook or some shit, and it's like, depending on what the person's answer was, I know exactly when you were watching. Yeah, and the same goes for Trish. Like, I'm not anti-Trish, but I really couldn't give a. I mean, I couldn't care less, really. Yeah, she was fine. Like you said, she got better, but
yep.
I just never thought she was all that.
But she was just there for what she looked like Hulk Hogan was, or like, dude. I mean, he could get in the ring and not injure somebody, but if you want to talk about wrestling and the dance and technicality, I mean, Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan, you know. And same with Trish. I mean, she was there because of what she looks like, you know, and what, you know, people are going to tune in. People want to look at her. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, again, she got better, but I mean, if we're going to talk about the actual ring psychology.
I saw somebody say Victoria, and I just got very excited by that.
I have been in love with her since the moment I saw her get put through a table as one of the Godfather's hoes, because I knew her from her fitness days. I was like, oh, she's so fucking hot, dude. I was just like, she was one of those women, and then she got into wrestling, and I'm like, and she was a heel, and I'm like, oh shit, she's such a good fucking heel. And they fucking buried her. They just buried her constantly. And this was WWE. They take a woman like Victoria or Lisa Marie Verone, you know, her shoot name, whatever you want to call her. I don't ever really refer to as Tara. I
don't think anybody does.
Yeah. But she was such a good worker, and they're like, hey, let's put Michelle McCool over on you. Hey, let's put Candice Michelle over on you. Hey, let's put this other bimbo. She had some good, you know, a decent program with Trish. You know, they went over, and Lita, I think they went back and forth over the belt. But still, she never got the full credit for the as good of a worker as she was, because she had to put over a lot of those just greenhorns, just bimbos that were nothing but tits and ass. They had no fucking ability to work. And I had a woman on from that era, Jennifer Thomas. She was in WWE Developmental from 03 to I think 06. And she worked with a lot of these girls, and she's a fucking worker. You can find all her info in the link to this video as well. She'll be coming back on the show soon.
The only reason she didn't make it to the main roster was because WWE 2003 to 2006 was just Triple H standing in the fucking ring, just
yeah. Dude, Jennifer's legit. Like, she is fucking legit. She's a worker. She's running her own promotion now called Women on Fire. Yeah, all that's in there. Check that out. She's but yeah, that's the thing, man. I've worked with women that are like can work, and then I've seen girls that are just like, you're a fucking ring rat. That's why you're fucking here. It's all you are is a goddamn rat. No, seriously, man. I'm not gonna pull any punches about that shit. I spent enough time in the fucking business to, you know, I've seen them come and I've seen them go. I watched this 16-year-old fucking chick get pushed up to the top of a women's division, and Jesus Christ, she could barely fucking work. Well, she disappeared, went down to Florida, came back, and like 2 years later, and she's like 18. She can fucking, I can't remember where the hell she trained, but I mean, but then she just like kind of faded out again. It was like she was gone, and it was just like she wasn't, you know, it's like the business is funny, man. It's either like you adapt to it, because it's a cruel mistress. It really is. I have a love, and I've talked to both you guys about this a little bit, Don a little bit, or Oz a little bit less, but then Tony, just because we've just met. But I have a love-hate relationship with that bitch. I do. Like, I hate it. I would go back tomorrow if I could, but I still fucking hate it.
Oh my dude, you're preaching to the choir. About every 3 to 6 months, me and the person I trained with. So I was in the Army for 6 years. I deployed to Iraq for 15 months. While I was over there, my mom would send me wrestling magazines because, you know, she's a great mom. And and so I made friends because people would be like, "Hey, where'd you find that?" Because, you know, ain't like they're easy to come by. And I said, "Oh, well, you know, they ain't nowhere around here." So so I made friends with the sergeant. I was freshly a private because I couldn't keep my damn mouth shut, and I got in trouble a few times. But anyway, I made friends with a sergeant, and we both said, "Hey, when we get out of here, we're gonna learn to wrestle. One of us is gonna find a school, and we're gonna make this dream a reality." And thankfully, not that it matters which one of us, but thankfully, I got back to Hawaii, which was my regular duty station, a month prior to Sergeant Thomas getting back. And so I found Hawaii Championship Wrestling. They were opening up a school because two people just got let go from Deep South. Micah Taylor, his real name is Shayer, I think, and his wife Tracy. They were doing a hula chick and a surfer dude gimmick down in Deep South. but they got let go with some cuts, and so she was from Hawaii, and they met there when he was in the Marines. So they went back to where she was from, and that's why that they were running the school. Hey, whatever, trying to make a buck. And so, yeah, I do that all the time with my friends. I'm like, man, we just need to go on like a kick-ass tour of the Indies.
I fucking dude, I would go back in a heartbeat. If I could, I would, man. It's funny. We're talking about wrestling. I'm looking back. I got.
Oh my goodness.
These. Okay, wait. Here's these are just laying around the office here.
That's cool. I like that.
Wait, here's an old one.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I was gonna say, since you showed Liz and Bobby, I was gonna ask if you had a Sensational Sherry cover.
I might. Hang on. Let's see. Here's Ted DiBiase. Let's see. Here's we got Brutus.
That's great. That's a great shot.
There's the Bushwhackers. I mean, I'm going through some of these. Let's see. Heart Foundation, Boss Man, Rockers. Jesus, another Rockers.
Yeah. So since we're in the 80s right now, I'll talk about some wrestling love. So there's a in the second act of the comic, Dom, he's the world champion at the time. He's defending the title. And I don't spend a hell of a lot of time there because I want more than just a wrestling audience. Now, I obviously want a wrestling audience also, but I want everybody to be able to enjoy this. So I keep it very open. So you don't have to be on the inside. I don't use anything that nobody is going to get if they aren't on the inside. So it's very easy to approach this product or the story. I mean. But yeah, so Jeff was looking over it and he was like, man, it just reminds me of the 80s. And I told him, I said, man, I thought about basing it in the 80s. It's not set then, but just because it's so fun and over the top, like it was just a great time to be a fan. Like even though I grew up in the 90s, I grew up on my grandfather's tapes. And so I was watching 70s and 80s when I was a kid because we couldn't always have cable. So I was always watching wrestling, but before my time.
Yeah, dude, I have still VHS piles of Saturday Night Main Event. Was it Tuesday on the Superstation, 6:05 Eastern, the old NWA and then WCW in the early 90s. I've got the Coliseum, WrestleMania 1 VHS, man. Yeah, I love, dude. I was like the Southern style of wrestling. I trained with a guy named Shane Morton, who's Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express, his nephew.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I had my first handful of training sessions with him, and he taught me a lot, and I really took to that. I trained in that Tennessee style, that walk and talk, and I was a heel. Now it's weird because I started my career as a babyface. Well, I was a heel announcer, and then I started ring announcing. I spent more time announcing and managing than I did wrestling. I only wrestled full time the last year and a half of my career. I finally said, fuck it. I'm going to do this. Cause I was always just wrestling spot matches and I'd ring announce and I'd manage. But yeah, I got full time the last year and a half. And that's when I'd fucking started hitting the weights, and I went out. I weighed roughly what I do now, just a shade over 200 pounds. And I was up to 245, I think.
Damn.
It took me about a good 8-9 months, but I got up there, and I was we had the tag belts. Like I said, we were doing an NWO gimmick. I love that because I was basically Scott Hall and my partner was Kevin Nash.
That's cool.
And yeah, it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. And you and I talked about that. Now you said, I heard you say you got stuck as a baby face.
No,
heel. I'm sorry, heel.
Check this out. So I'll tell you all about the baby face one night only in a second, but I got to start from the beginning. So when I was training in Hawaii to learn to wrestle, just like my mouth got me in trouble in the Army, my mouth got me in trouble in wrestling training. So I'd been training for 3 months, absolute max, but probably less than that. When a wrestler came in, they had just done a show. I set up the ring and took it down, but they had just done a show. He came in for training the following Wednesday, and I'm like, "Hey, Kevin, that was great. Everything was good, but God, the crowd did not give a fuck when you were talking. Because I'm stupid and shouldn't be saying things that I do." And so Mike, the head trainer, next train, he's like, "Hey, Kevin hates you, so I've got this great idea. I'm gonna put you guys together." And it worked so good because he didn't like that I critiqued his personal ability, but when we were together, the first night we were together, I come out and I cut a promo. I'm being boastful as fuck, but I don't tell the crowd that I'm not talking about me. And that's when my friend interrupts the guy I trained with and says, "Oh, if you're so big and bad, let's do this." Because he took the mic. We're a small town operation. Well, I got the one. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Kevin interferes. I grab the mic and I say, before I was so rudely interrupted, which I stole from Jake Roberts which I told him that's another fun story. He said, "Call it yours." Great guy. Love that. Love that guy. Anyway, but the next show we're coming out and he hears my music. He's like, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, what wrestler on TV comes out to some shit you hear on the radio?" I said, "I had my friends put together a song for me." And he's like, "Oh, that's so smart." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I do. That's why we're together." And so from that point on, I cut his promos for him. He became the silent killer. I mean, not gimmick, but like I was the mouth, he was the muscle.
Yeah.
And the guy who hated me in December was loving me by February and March.
Nice. Fuck yeah. Dude.
But yeah, so
awesome.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna quickly tell the one night only babyface story.
Yeah.
So when I'm in Hawaii, I'm perma heel because I'm fake rich, I'm loudmouth, whatever. But I come back home to Ohio, and I'm talking to people that I knew before I joined the army, and they kept up with me. They saw that I was, in the game, and they said, "Hey, come over here. We got a show." And I looked at the flyer they sent me, and I said, "This show is on 9/11 of 2011." I said, I've got to come in uniform. They said, "Yeah, do that. Come in uniform." So I'm in the National Guard, so I show up in uniform, and for one night only, I could cut a babyface promo, and because this heel calls me out, and he's like, "Oh, blah 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 bullshit," but oh, it was so nice to get cheered, and I was so happy. I was like, I finally get to sell some fucking 8x10s. And the next show, promoter's like, "Hey, I got this great idea. You're gonna be heel." I said, "Awesome." Just what I always wanted.
Oh shit. Yeah, that I got stuck. I ran a promotion for about a year and a half, and I was a baby face. And I started working this other place. I got stuck as the babyface commissioner for a couple years. I worked my first couple matches there. Went around a few smaller promotions, did a commission there. Everybody wanted me to be a babyface. I always wanted to be a heel. I got to do a heel one night, and I used a Kardashian last name because we were in St. Helen, Michigan, which is about 15 minutes away from where I am now. And there's fucking more there's more I don't know, woodchucks than there is teeth in that town. So I just went ham on the fucking crowd, and I was they hated me. They were I thought I was waiting to use the bathroom after the show was over. I was getting ready to leave because I came to the show and I had a party to go to. I was like, "Hey, this was a one-off appearance for me." I was like, "Hey," when I come do my shit, I was like, "I gotta bounce." So I'm like, "I want my envelope, as soon as we're done." The guy's like, kind of roll. I'm like, "No, man." I'm like, "I gotta go. I gotta play. I told him I had another booking or some shit. I'm like, "Whatever, fuck this. I just want out of here." And I got my shit and I bounced, and I'm waiting over at the fucking bathroom at the beer tent, and I see these two good old boys walking up to me. I'm like, "Oh shit," I'm like, because they're just looking, and they walked up. They're like, "Dude, that was really cool." I'm like, "Oh my god, okay." I'm like, I thought I was gonna have to stab one of these motherfuckers. No, because it was dude, they were some just weird ass looking just backwoods, and I live here, it's
right, absolutely. Everybody who lives here knows what's up.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn. And then that was funny too, because I was a babyface when I worked in my hometown before, and which is not where I was talking about before, but and then I came back at the end of my career for Imperial Wrestling Entertainment, and I was a fucking heel the whole time, straight through, dude. Me and my tag partner, we did a Bash at the Beach 96 style heel flip with one of the main baby faces in the company. They filled the fucking ring up with trash, throwing shit at us. We used to, and now we're running in a Christian fucking youth building, right?
Right.
I happen to know the owner. That's how we got the building for free, because we were doing TV tapings there. We fucking hate you chant one night. I mean, it was like,
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, dude. We were like, holy, we go backstage and everybody's like, we walk back there just laughing. We was like, holy shit. We're like, yeah, dude, we got heat. We got,
I love it. I love it so much.
It was so much fun though. That's why I always wanted to be a heel. I'm like, because it's so much easier to make people hate you than it is to make people love you.
I loved being bad. All I wanted was a couple dollars. Like, that's all I wanted. I wanted the little kid to run up with the 8x10, but I never got that day. because the one night I was a babyface, I had to get my ass kicked. So no 8x10 for me.
Dude, my first match was a babyface. I got my ass beat.
Oh, thankfully by being heel in Hawaii, I almost always got to do something dastardly and powder out and chicken shit the night away.
Dude, that's the best part about being a heel. I remember me and my tag partner, like the last feud we worked, like I'm 6'3", I was 245. He's 6'2", he was about 265. We're working these two little fucking twin brothers. They're like 5'4", 115 pounds each, right?
Yep.
So the show before my last show, we were fucking just blitzed out of our mind. I said, hey, I told the Dean brothers, I said, I'm gonna bump for you guys tonight like a motherfucker. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, dude. I said, I'm a bump all over the place. I look like, remember when Shawn Michaels worked Hogan?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what I did. I fucking flew myself all over the place. Like I took like, I think in a 15-minute match, I think I took like 16 to 20 bumps. I was just like all over the place. And we got backstage and promoters like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, and we went over. I was like, hey, I want to make him look good. He's like, you weigh 100 and fucking like 35 pounds more than what the fuck? I was like, nah, fuck it. I was like, it's good. It's good. I'm like, so the next month we worked the blow off match, which was my last show there. And I think I bumped 3 times. That was it.
There you go. That's the way to be.
Yep. I was like, there, motherfucker. I won't take any.
I love it. Oh my God. Yeah. I love wrestling so much.
I want to go. Tony, who is your favorite worker? Like from the 80s? We'll go. Actually, who is just your favorite worker ever?
I would have to think about that. And honestly, if he hadn't have gotten injured, Steve Austin was a pretty good worker. He's probably my favorite wrestler overall. Mm-hmm. But man, if he didn't take that pile driver, I just think about the potential. But yeah, I would have to think about that. Probably Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie was so smart.
Yeah, I just love that guy, and I can't believe I'm older than him now. I know. He accomplished so much.
Oh, dude, he was fucking his psychology for the business was just, it was wonderful. And he got led down dude. And that's the thing. And I tell people this, everybody's like, how these wrestlers die so young? I'm like, you don't know what the lifestyle is like. Like,
right?
No idea. You've never lived that life. If you've never laced them boots up and been about that life, then you'd never understand it. You can watch every documentary you want. I mean, I don't know. It's like, you've had to have been in around. I mean, you can understand it, but it's like, it's different living it, I guess. I don't want to say you can't understand it, but living it is, like I see, it hurts, man. Like we used to do, I mean, when we do a show, you know, you'd hear the boys, you know, in the locker room talking. Like I remember when Umaga died and shit like that. I was like, God damn, man. You know, you're in the locker room. It's like, you know, this so and so died, and it's like a bunch of us are like, fuck, you know, we grew up watching. You know,
Absolutely.
it does. You know, it hurts. I got in what Benoit died in. What was it? 07? Was it 06 or 07?
No way.
Yeah, 07, I think.
I think it was 07 because Eddie died in 06.
Oh my, yeah. Oh yeah. So you're right. It feels wrong, but you're right.
Yeah.
Oh.
WrestleMania 2000, those two standing with the titles together, like
yeah.
that look on Eddie Guerrero's face when he went into the ring, and just like his look said it all.
Shit, I remember that match at WrestleMania between Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and nobody.
Yeah, which it should have been. It should have been Triple H and Benoit, and then they wanted to throw Shawn Michaels in because they didn't have any confidence.
Triple H wouldn't have put Benoit over though, because Benoit was WCW. That's Triple H wouldn't have put him over. That's he systematically buried. If you look back through history at the people that egotistical piece of shit buried, he buried Steiner. He buried, go Booker T.
Booker T. Yeah, 19. My God,
racist ass bullshit he did with Booker T.
Why wouldn't they see? Look what he did for the business. He is suffocated. The business is less because of Paul Levesque. It's less.
Yep. I give him respect where respect is due, but a lot of his his career achievements are fucking through just being a fucking weasel. Which, like I said, if you want a friend in the
have you been in the wrestling business?
Yeah, if you want to, as I say, if you want a friend in the wrestling business, buy a fucking dog. Because the motherfuckers that are shaking your hand and saying, "Hey, brother," when you walk into a fucking venue, they'll snake your shit for a $5 fucking payday and a hot dog and a handshake from the fucking promoter and an attaboy half the time. No, there's very, very few genuine motherfuckers, especially on the indie level. It was funny, man, because when I got in, there was a lot of like alpha bulls in the locker room. You know what I mean? Like I got in.
I certainly know what you mean. I certainly know.
There was, and as I got, on to about 9 years, 8-9 years in, it was like I'm looking, and I'm 37, and I'm looking around at these kids that were younger than me when I came in, and they're motherfucking soft as Charmin. I'm like, God damn! Like we were, when I got in, we were, trying to pick up women and shit, and I mean, these motherfuckers are like out playing Pokemon Go, and I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? I came in my first show at IWE, and I didn't know they had a no drinking in the locker room policy. I come in with my gear bag. I have a fucking camping chair with a fold-out table, and I had a rolling cooler full of beer and vodka. And I come just rolling them motherfuckers in. I set up shop in the back of the locker room with the guys that were in my stable. I was like, I told them, I said, we're all going to fucking sit together. I said, from now on, we sit together in the locker room. We get here at the same time. We leave together. I said, that's what we're going to do. I said, if we're going to be a unit, we're going to fucking act like one. Because I got plans. I got plans for the fucking stable. And they're looking at me. I'm like, no, my boy that I came into the business with was part of it. And he brought me into this company. He's like, no, just trust him. And I already gave the promoters a sell. I said, we're going to be the fucking NWO. I said, we're going to act. We're going to talk. We're going to walk like the NWO. That's why I made it when I have my belt, that fucking team ratings, that's the NWO. I said, this is exactly what we're going to fucking do. We're going to be an NWO tribute stable, and the crowd will fucking love us, but they will hate us, but they will buy our merchandise, and goddamn did they buy t-shirts.
Right. Well, I mean, that's fucking genius, but my story's a little bit different. So in Hawaii, you remember how I said that the trainer had just gotten back to Hawaii from Deep South? Well, every other fucking person in that locker room had been there with their thumb up their ass for fucking years, lazy as the day is long, and they fucking hated us. So there were only 4 of us in the training class. Me, my boy who I was in Iraq with, my albino Samoan friend Tilo, and Ativalu, a young stud, really. I mean, but he got pulled over to the dark side later on, but that's a whole nother story. But the problem was all the old guard thought thought we were hot shit. Well, we did, but it's for legit real because we knew we were learning every time we could get a chance.
Yeah.
So we knew what the fuck we were doing. Like, you remember I said that my mouth kind of got me in trouble a few times? So, Mike, the trainer, he enjoyed my 2 cents, and so he put me in charge of helping him come up with plans. I wasn't booking, but if he had a thing he was stuck on, he would be like, "Yo, Oz, what do you think about this?" And so I would not be shy. Didn't really make me popular with the old and comfortable folks.
Mm-hmm.
Because even on our first night, the first time we ever stepped in the ring, Mike said, "You guys aren't going on first. You're too good to go on first."
Do you mind me asking a question about wrestling in Hawaii?
Oh, no, ask whatever you want.
I was never in the business or anything. I worked backstage a few times, but never like, an actual part of the business. But was it because I know like a lot of independent wrestlers, I mean, they're jumping in their vehicles, driving to different states, working the shows. I mean, so being in Hawaii, was it like a bit limited as far as exposure or where you could go? Was it hard to like get to different promotions, or what was the scene like?
I only worked the one promotion, and as far as I knew, there were only 2 on the island of Oahu. So I only ever worked for Hawaii Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
And then there was NWA Pacific Islands, I think is what they called it. NWA something.
Yeah.
But I never worked with them. I went to one of their shows once when I had a falling out with Hawaii Championship but I also wasn't trying to do big things, really. I was still in the Army at the time. And so I was doing this because I wanted to do it. It was well, not all, but, it was something I'd always thought, hey, I want this in my life. And so I wasn't really WWE bound ever. I never thought, oh, I'm going to TNA it up or something. Like, I met Samoa Joe. That was cool.
Yeah.
But I never thought I was going to be a part of that because I knew I didn't know, but I suspected I was going to stay in. And so I did for a few more years. In the Army, I mean, not the.
Yeah.
So I was never trying to get big, I guess.
No, I get it. I mean, I've, lifelong wrestling fans. So yeah, you get the feeling when you want to just get in the ring and do it,
Yeah, I think when I was in Ohio is more of when I thought maybe I might do something with this, but that's when it started getting real not fun. The whole, and I even tried to make it fun. Like I was in college at the time because the Army was like, hey, we'll pay for you to do that shit. And so I was like, cool, let's do that. So I made all these friends who, were into TV production. So I was like, I brought a whole crew with me. I was like, all right, we're going to put a hard cam over here. We're going to have you 2 doing this. You always follow the entrances. And I was like, all right, we're going to make this shit happen. And then a handshake fell apart and the promoter didn't want to pay for it. And I'm like, well, this is your promotion, but it's my product. And it never went anywhere. And it was just like, it just felt, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why I got into comics. Cause I was like, there's too many pieces in the wrestling game, too many things that can fall apart and not work out. Whereas if it's just me, a dude drawing, another dude coloring, I was like, okay, I can deal with the small scale. But when in wrestling, it kept, every time I would try and do something big, it just would fall apart. There were too many moving parts, basically. Whereas with the comic, I was like, all right, I know how to tell this story. I didn't know I was going to find an artist when I went to a comic convention, but I did when I went to the 2014 Cincinnati Comic Expo. That's when I first met Jeff. And so I told him about the idea I had, and it wasn't for another 4 months until I was ready to pay for it. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, wrestling actually led to the comic in some ways.
It's cool. Definitely some influence.
I wanna acknowledge the chat real quick. I've got he's screaming at me. Hi, I'm at your house. Your pizza is here, noobs. There you go. I said your name. I want to take a minute to acknowledge the chat. Tommy the Guinea Pig Collective. Thank you for sharing link too, sir. Gaming Vulture is here. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Thank you. Super fan Adam Shawhan. Parrot Head. Yeah, Parrot Head. If you saw, I put down in there, if you search Battle Zone TV, that's Imperial Wrestling Entertainment's YouTube channel. I am featured on episodes 18 through 44. That's my last about year and a half with in the business. And I made one appearance at, oh Jesus, I forgot the promotion's name, and they were going to put the tag belts on us. We made our first appearance, cut a promo, and they're like, we're putting the straps on you guys. We're like, next month. I'm like, all right. That was on a Sunday. Monday morning, I call them like, hey, I quit. It sucks too. I just got like 1,000 fucking trading cards made too. That's all right. The kids at the school where I work found out I used to be a wrestler, and yeah, they were like, so do you have like shirts or anything? I was like, I have trading cards. I'm like, I'm not giving away my shirts. Those are mine. Like, I was like, I have trading cards. So I signed trading cards and gave them to all the kids at lunch one day. They got a kick out. They got a kick out of that.
Absolutely.
But no, man, it's a fun business. What's up, Orville Nation? I'm sorry, I forgot. There you are, PJ. I see you. How you doing, man? Congratulations. What did you just hit, PJ? Was it 5,000 subs? He's up there. So congrats to Orville Nation. That's an accomplishment. Let me look real quick. Yeah. They're 5.52 thousand.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, dude. Congratulations, fucking Orville Nation. We're gonna get PJ on very soon. We're gonna get him on very soon. I've wanted to collaborate with him for a minute, so we're gonna bring him on.
Do you mind me just saying, Orville, just keep at it, keep grinding, man, and one day you might catch up to me, bro. I'm just saying. I don't know. Bad joke.
We gotta get that last Starfighter review out, man.
Yes.
With that last Starfighter and fucking Flight of the Navigator review, been working on for 6 years. We're gonna get. We've been working on it since 1987. It's just got to come out sometime.
We're waiting for the I don't even know how old it is now, 35th, 40th, 45th anniversary. So we're taking our time, you know.
You're getting close to how old I'm going to be. Stop it. Fucking stop, bro. Stop. I'm only going to be 41, so it's all right. It's all good. I'm a spry, youthful 40. It's all right. It's all right.
Let me give him a trailer for the Flight of the Navigator review, okay? I want to slap the shit out of that kid so bad.
He's a whiny little bitch. Oh my god!
I want to go get a job at NASA just so I can go in that room and punch him in his fucking smug little face.
Dude, first of all, he got like, what was it? Soundwave. I had the little, what is it? The hydro, the little fucking green copperhead boat for G.I. Joe, the Cobra one. I've got that bitch right behind the curtain on the shelf with the original figure that came with it. He had like, there were some kick-ass toys on that bed he got. Plus he had his own robot and Sarah Jessica Parker before she looked like a fucking racehorse.
She really did, like, her face hadn't elongated as much. Her muzzle hadn't.
Her muzzle hadn't fully developed yet into all of that, you know? It was like she hadn't gone full Penelope Cruz yet. I see you, Penelope. I see you. Somebody give her a carrot. Somebody give her a carrot.
Didn't her husband kill a chick, Matthew Broderick?
I don't know. Wait, James. Oh, I gotta say this one. Here we go. James, the best man in the whole fucking world. Could you say my name? I mean, it's pretty cool. Oh shit. Here's a Kathleen Kennedy joke. Fade in. Hey everyone, how's it going?
Hail Mad Mardigan.
No, he'll only say my name. Hi, I'm at your house. Your pizza's here, noobs. There, I said it again. Hail Mad Mardigan. Hey, Mad's joining us again next Wednesday with who else is joining us Wednesday? Oh, that's right. Culture Casino And Paulie from Latino Slant will be here with Mad Mardigan, myself, and Tony Tonedeaf next Wednesday on Going Rogue, which is back after hiatus last week. I will be rescheduling with Mary Mayhem. I had she had some issues going on. She could not host the show last Wednesday. So I will be back over there. I will be debuting over there soon. But we got to do Going Rogue coming up this week. Let's see who else we got. Leo Reds in the chat. What's up, Leo Red? He says, what toy are you pointing at? Remember, you're not a homie. There is no mercy in this dojo. There is no fear in this dojo. There's nobody in this dojo right now. Cobra Kai is fucking amazing. Yeah, Oz, do you watch Cobra Kai?
I have not seen it.
I was like you up until like last weekend. I binged the whole fucking show. Tony's been on me for watching. I seriously like avoided every spoiler I could for that. I didn't get one goddamn thing spoiled. Watched the whole show. Me and the wife did in like a day and a half, and I was like, I need more of this. Like it's it's great. Like
that's a great problem to have.
It is. It's such a good fucking show. Who is this? The redneck. I just ate my dog. Dog meat is so.
Must be in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I should give it a couple weeks. I'm sorry.
Orville, Cobra Kai rock. Yeah, Cobra Kai is freaking is great. The hydrofoil. Yeah, I had that boat Nano Reaper. I sold it like probably 5 years ago. I sold a bunch of my G.I. Joe stuff when I started buying Star Wars toys again. And now I'm kicking myself in the ass for selling what G.I. Joe stuff I did sell. But yeah.
Oh my God, I love hate toys. I love hate toys. I've had to get out and I go back in and I get out and I'm like, damn it, stop pulling me back in.
It's like every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Like Silvio on the fucking Sopranos. Speaking of shows that ended badly, The Sopranos, that whole last season, it was like the last season of Scrubs. Oh, all right. No, okay. Now, have either of you watched The Sopranos all the way through? Like, are you Sopranos fans?
I've never seen it.
Okay.
So,
what about you, Tony?
I think we had this discussion before.
I can't remember if we have.
I was in the first season. I got around to the part where he took his daughter upstate to look for some colleges, and then ran into that guy he knew from so long ago and made a call back home. And it's good. I want to finish it, but I just haven't had the chance.
It's if you skip the last season of the show, it's good. It's good. Just let it end there. I got to give Tommy a plug for you. He says, check Tommy the Guinea Pig Collective out, man. He does. He's one of the great toy channels here in the Fandom Menace. You got to check him out. Also, my boy over at 2 Cents Toys, Salvador. I'll go check it out, man. You got some G.I. Joe stuff in there, Tommy. I'm gonna check that out. The Wire is a superior show. I have not seen The Wire all the way through. I have not. I need to. I know.
So, I'm not going to talk about The Wire, but back to toys.
Yeah.
I have some kick-ass people that where I work, and they surprised me in September on my birthday, and they made me a Funko of Dom, the wrestler in the story. And it was pretty awesome.
Dude, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I like that Dom character too. That I like. Now, is that did you put any aspects of like yourself into the story and any of the characters, or did you just mainly write this from like an outside narrative?
So unintentionally, or maybe fully intentionally, everybody in some way at some point in time I can relate to. Even what would seem like in this issue or this volume, I guess you'll say, people who might seem like small characters or unimportant characters, they're possibly more me than even the big characters. But then again, I also know that the small characters are going to be very important in the near future. So when the audience reads the book, they need to make sure that if they're reading a character say something, that there's a good chance they're going to become pretty damned important soon.
Okay. All right. So you do it right then, man. And I like that when you were talking about, like, somebody said, hey, look, your characters are diverse. All right. Now that's a good thing, because, okay, so they're noticing that. but then they're going to read the story and be like, oh, and it has a story and things have meaning to them. It's not just, based on this, you know what I mean? So it's good that you're doing it right then. You are.
Yeah,
You're doing it right.
Yeah, I just got taken aback when they said that, because I'm like, oh, that's not the road I'm trying to.
Yeah,
it's not the road I'm trying to hoe. But yeah, I know that when you read the story, you're gonna realize that they have different colors, especially Dom being blue, but the complexion is not what tells the story. It's the story which is driving the characters,
and that's the way it should be. That is exactly the way it should be. Let's see. Redneck says, what's your thoughts on Chris Rock's Spiral, aka Saw 9? I didn't see a Saw movie after. I didn't see a Saw movie after part 6. And I used to go to the theater, like, 1 through 6. I was at the theater opening night every year during the premieres. But no, I didn't see Saw 9. I didn't even know Chris Rock was in it.
I thought he made it.
Did he? I have no idea.
I could be mistaken, but I maybe I misunderstood the question.
He just like I said, I never saw the movie, so I can't really speak to it, Redneck. I have no idea. It's that one's lost on me. I apologize. Hail Daisy Divine. No, that's I couldn't get into that after, like I said, it was just like kind of like, okay, are we still doing this? And this is somebody who loves Friday the 13th and the Halloween franchise, but I acknowledge their missteps. Halloween especially. But damn. No, there's so many we always talk about, entertainment and things, and it's like I've been happy with. Now, do you watch Oz, do you watch WandaVision at all?
I do. I haven't watched today's episode because work and shit, and then doing adult shit, changing oil and whatever, buying groceries and stuff, and then now I'm doing this. But I plan on watching as soon as we're off here.
So
okay.
No spoiler, but there's a mid-credit scene in this one.
Unfortunately, the internet is the internet, so I've already been spoiled on something that happens tonight or today.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Damn.
Thankfully, I'm not a person who that like it's not. You tell me what's going to happen in something. If I'm interested, I'm still going to check it out, because I mean, it just goes back to wrestling. Like I've watched matches that I've seen 100 times, and I'll watch them again because I don't care if it's executed right. I'm gonna enjoy it regardless.
Yep.
Dude, one of my favorite matches, and it's so stupid. It was a Monday Nitro. It was the night that Raven and Saturn turned heel mid-match and went over on Benoit and Malenko because the crowd turned on him.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
I fucking love Raven. And
he's so underappreciated.
He's again probably one of the best psychologists in the business, like ever.
I watched a shoot he did where he compared wrestling to sex, and how that if the crowd's not into it, it means you're not pleasing the other party, and if you're just there for yourself, then what's the point? And I was engrossed in that whole conversation because it's so damn true. That's what is the struggle with current wrestling, is that there's no back and forth. There's no crowd to give a damn.
Yep. Are they still doing the empty arena shows and stuff like that?
You might as well say it. They got video screens of maybe live, maybe not live people, but
God,
there's no physical people. I mean, unless you're watching AEW, they've got people in the crowd, but WWE don't.
I don't watch any. I haven't watched Raw, anything, Impact. I've never watched a second of AEW except a clip or two on YouTube. I don't watch wrestling anymore. Like I said, I'll watch like the old WCW stuff. I'm a sucker for that. I always have been. But I don't watch any of the current product. I mean, I probably couldn't name more than 3 guys on the current roster in the Fed. I wish I didn't, hate it.
I bet you could just by accident. You could probably name more than 3 just by the fact that they hoard so damn many people.
I was gonna say, shit, I don't even know where to start. Is what's his name? Is Seth Rollins still there?
Yeah, he's there.
Okay, so him, the fat guy used to be Husky Harris.
Bray Wyatt, yeah, he's there.
Bray Wyatt, yep. He actually has a good gimmick.
For sure.
I
The problem with him
respect him.
Oh yeah,
They buried him. They fucking buried him.
I know. They also recently set him on fire and killed him off. So,
yeah, that's Hey, look, Vince is pissed because he's not ripped with huge arms and a big chest. That's what it is. Vince is like, he's a fat guy. I don't want him. This isn't the '80s anymore. Oh God. Oh yeah, I saw that. Ask the Cheese Gaming. Alexa Bliss is a fiend now too. I saw pictures of that online. I thought it was like just some like photo shoot gimmick. I'm like, what the fuck
is she?
I think that they're saying his dead essence is inhabiting her body, but it's not well executed. So I'm just helping them tell their own story. I think.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't put my essence inside Alexa Bliss, but yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, is demonic possession really where we want to go in 2021 with wrestling? I mean, why not? Fuck it, right? They're not selling it in China, are they?
Yeah. My only complaint is that I need to know what story you're telling me, and I don't need to have to figure it out and put my own pieces in to make your puzzle look right.
Yeah, I don't want that board behind me, like what's his name, Charlie from It's Always Sunny, where he's like trying to explain everything on the board. I don't want that. I don't want little pieces of string and. No,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind an angle that makes me think a little bit. I don't mind.
Yeah, but, like Mach. You can see it on his face, and he knows what he knows what Hogan's thinking. He sees that lust in his eyes, but he don't tell you. You just have to know it. I mean, he eventually tells you, but you see it coming. Is the point?
Yeah. See, that's it, man. And there's all these guys now. All their fucking promos are scripted. They're homogenized down. It's like. That was one thing I prided myself on. The only thing I would ever script would be when I was ring announcing, my guys' introductions. But promos, I'd be like the guys they'd have like backstage writing shit down. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I gotta write my lines down. I'm like, your fucking lines. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, so you're gonna
not
go
know
out there.
Who you are? Do you not know who you are? That's what I would ask. Like,
I said, when these young kids, I'm like, so you're telling me he was like probably 22. I'm like, so you're gonna go out there in front of the crowd, all right? You're gonna get out there and you're gonna be spewing all this the shit you wrote down in your head that you think sounds good. They get out there and you take a shit. And they're going to be sitting on the crowd sitting on their fucking hands. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there licking my chops going, I'm going to fucking bury you. I'm going to fucking bury you. They're going to hate me, but it's going to be me burying you that they hate because you have nothing as a babyface. You're supposed to have some kind of comeback, and it's not going to work because I'm going to fucking play off of you. So I need you to be on point. And it's I'm like, come on, man. Like, use the crowd.
That's one of the things that I felt very complimented by when I had that one night as a babyface. I was talking to this didn't happen. Anybody's listening to this didn't happen, but I was talking to the heel in the back before the show started, and
kayfabe,
exactly.
No.
so I said,
real to me, damn it.
I said to him, I said, what do you want to do? He said, I trust you. He's like, just feel it, and it's going to be all right. And I said, okay, I don't trust me, but I'm glad you do. And we did it. We did it live, and it was fucking awesome. Like, because I'd never been a good guy before. I didn't know. So I was like, you want to give me some pointers? He's like, no, I trust you. So yeah, you have to be in the moment. If you're not, then there's no point in being there.
Yeah. Dude, I had one. They wanted me to work I was like the commissioner, and they had I had just like gone over in a feud with another commissioner. We had a blow off match and everything. I won the soul, and then he's
Were
like,
you
"Hey,
above average?"
What do you mean,
Mike Sanders?
Oh shit, nice, dude. I fucking forgot about Mike Sanders from the Natural Born Thrillers. Shit.
Yeah, him and the cat were always fighting over who was gonna have the pencil.
Oh, fucking him, yeah, that stable had so much potential. You had him, you had Johnny the Bull, Reno was kind of in, but you had
Sean
Jindrak, O'Hare,
Yep.
Palumbo, and Stasiak.
Yep.
I mean, that was some fucking talent right there. And they just, I mean, well, one of them died too young, and the
It was
rest of them,
O'Hare.
O'Hare, and the rest of
Yeah.
them just got shitty booking. Palumbo had a decent run.
I'll be honest. I don't remember which one of you. Maybe it was both of you. I don't. But I really feel like it was Trips, and if it wasn't Paul, then it was the company in general thinking that, hey, these kids came from WCW, they can't make it.
Yep.
But O'Hare looked amazing. He had talent out the ass. I mean, Palumbo proved himself in every damn gimmick they gave him, whether it was, playing around with Billy or riding the motorcycle, being a badass. He was always cool. And in later years, Jindrak proved himself in Mexico. So it's like, you're telling me none of these none of these guys are good enough? Come on now.
Yep. Yeah, they were always good enough, but they were never going to get a fair chance because they were WCW creations, and Vince hated that. Vince hated all that shit.
Well, that actually goes back to AJ making the right call not to sign with WWE back when they offered him the contract the first time.
Yeah.
I know he says and I believe him. I'm not saying he's a liar, but I know he says he did it for his wife, but he did it to save his career too, I think.
Yep.
In hindsight.
When I met Mick Foley in, God, what was it? 2007, late 2007, early 2008. It was right around the time I was getting into the business. He was very open. He was working for TNA at the time, and I asked him, I said, how is it working for WWE compared to TNA? I said, TNA obviously being a much smaller company. And he said, he goes, WWE was like the keys to the kingdom. You got to go everywhere, do everything, meet everybody, you got to, do all this shit, see everything in the world you ever wanted to see. But at the end of the day, you work for Vince McMahon. He's insane. He goes, TNA, I make my schedule. He goes, it's nice. He goes, yeah, the pay is less. He goes, but the freedom, he goes, I can come do stuff like this. He goes, I can't go work an indie show working for Vince. He's like,
of course. I don't mean to interrupt. I really don't.
You're fine.
But that is the thing that's the reason I'm doing this Indiegogo. Like, I don't mean to keep going back to the product, but the fact is that if this Indiegogo takes off, it brings me the freedom to tell the story the way it needs to be told, to get the product to the people, and to live the life that I want to have. And not just me, obviously, everybody else too. Like, people want good stuff. I want to give it to them, and I want that freedom to be able to, go to the indie show when it opens back up, meaning at Comic-Con. So, there are 12 days left, as you can see on the screen in front of you, and we need. I need exactly 628 people to buy one book. Now, if you want to buy more than one, maybe you got a friend. That's okay too. But if 628 people buy one book, then the rest of the story, the whole rest of this year is done. Where art's going to be to the artist. It's going to be done. Like I said, I'm meeting the printer next week to see the proof. That way we can get them all rolled off the presses, mailed out to the people that have already backed, and all the people that are still going to back.
Nice, man. I hope you come close to your goal or hit it or smash it. I hope you smash it, actually.
Oh, it's funny. So I was talking to Jeff last week, and he said, all I could ever hope for is that you beat Stealing Solo. And I said, man, I didn't even think it was possible, but I appreciate that. Because, Stealing Solo, it's fun, and it's him and his friends having a good time, but this is something that's going to, it's going to move forward. It's going to have, this story has legs, and it's going to last for a long time, just so long as either I become independently wealthy. I bought a lottery ticket tonight. So if that happens, the story goes on. And if people back the book, it goes on. So one way or another, the story's being done. But I've never won the lottery before. So let's just hope people back the book.
I can say I'm one of those people that, dude, I could buy like an entire rack of scratch off tickets and I wouldn't win on one of them. My 5-year-old got a lotto ticket for Christmas and won $15 fucking. Like got a little scratcher in his stocking because my mother-in-law puts them in our stockings. You know, he got one. Fucking wins $15. I'm like, are you kidding me? I win. I get nothing. I'm like, give me that. I'm buying myself a Marvel Legends figure. Give me that.
I love that. That's great. Yeah. I was at this passing party this year, and all the gifts were shit until one box was open, and it was a bunch of lottery tickets. So obviously it was one of those white elephant things. So that some bitch got taken. So I don't know if anybody hit it, but it sure wasn't me.
Yeah, I'm not lucky with that. Like I said, I'm not a gambler. The only thing I ever really won any money at was blackjack. That's the only thing I've ever been able to win at.
Oh, while we're talking about gambling, I named the company Gamble Comics because I want people to take a chance on me, like I'm taking a chance on this venture.
Nice. I like that. You are you kind of involved with the Comicsgate, seen it all, or?
I mean, only to the extent that I know Jeff and Jeff knows other people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
To the extent that I don't even know what the gate is. I don't know what the controversy is, but I know that some controversy exists and that Jeff is like loosely associated, or maybe more so than I realized. But I knew that there was something that happened / maybe didn't. I don't know, but I knew that the term existed, so I forewarned the new artist. I said, "Hey, this thing that I don't even know what the heck is going on," and my original artist, is definitely friends with the people. If not more so, I don't know. What do you know about it? Because I'm like out of the loop. I'm just now stepping foot into YouTube, basically.
Okay, no, I was just gonna say Comicsgate, man, it's just like the Fandom Menace, basically. It's a hashtag, but it's a group. Comicsgate is independent creators who, are shying away from the mainstream type bullshit and creating their own, doing their own thing. You got basically, I would say, like, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, as far as Comicsgate goes, isn't EVS the alpha and the omega of that?
I wouldn't say like they're not. It's more of a community. He's probably sold.
He's the big man. He is.
Do you know what I call him? Every time I log into Indiegogo, I said, "There's the $1 million man."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because every time I look at Cyberfog, I'm like, that's the dream right there. The action figures, the 12 successful campaigns. It's just like the $1 million man right there. That's what I want. That's what we all want.
Do you mind me saying that it may not be $1 million, but I think you set a better standard because like you had a vision for something and you went out and created it and took the time, and then once it's completed, you started the campaign, and that's a lot of people. I just think it's a better example to set.
Oh yeah, and it goes. I appreciate that. I really do. But that goes back to the whole wrestling experience. I don't want to sell you on a thing that I can't deliver. Whether it's the promoter telling the new kid on the block, "Hey, I'll get you next time," or whatever it may be. I'm not like that with the audience. I'm not like that with the artist or the colorist, the letter, anybody. It's like I'm not working you, basically.
Yep. Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, same as you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Tony. I do.
Definitely. It's sincere, man, from the heart, man.
Well, and I'm struggling to find the people that need to know this exists, because so many people that I've been telling this about, because I just don't know the right people. They're like, they'll log on to Indiegogo and they'll say, "Can you pop that up real quick?"
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, they'll follow the link that I sent them. They'll look at it and they'll say, "Oh, your book costs $1,100." And I'll say, "No, it doesn't cost $1,100. Just scroll down. And you'll see how much it costs." But that just tells me you didn't even try to look. Keep going. You're almost there. Boom. Look at that. $20. 68 pages, full color. You're gonna get it quarterly. Honestly, I wanted to charge 15, but I was scared I wasn't gonna get enough backers, so that's why I did 20. But if we can hit the goal, I can promise every book hereafter will be at the $15 price point. But I just said, okay, 1,000 people buy one book. Okay, that's 20,000. I'm good to go. Is why I picked it that way. But yeah, if you take the time to check it out, and if you scroll back up real quick, one of the first things it says is, "Hey, this whole thing's done." Yeah, right there. So yeah, we're seeking $20,000, but the whole project's complete. Like it's ready. It's ready to print and ship. And as a matter of fact, I'm printing the first couple, or not couple. I'm printing the first 25 next week, just so that I can do a video and say, "I'm not a liar. I got it. It's in my hand. It's about to be in your hand." So yeah, this has been great, guys. I really appreciate everything.
Oh, absolutely, man. Happy to have you on. No, it was it was fun, and like I said, once you're here, the invitation's always open to come back on for another appearance.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I know you're on a schedule, so if you have to go, Tony, if you want to check the private chat, I just dropped a message in there. But yeah, I mean, if you have to go, is that you got to take off?
No, I'm good. I mean, I don't know how much longer we'll be doing this, but I'm cool to chill. I just wanted to put that out there that I do appreciate the time, and it's been great. Just in case it does end soon, I would like to go back to the question you asked Tony earlier about one of his favorite wrestlers.
Yeah,
his answer was Steve Austin, and then it morphed into Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
both excellent answers. Can't knock either. But the person that I always looked up to was Brian Pillman.
Oh, dude. Yep.
Even before I knew the extent of his life story, which, thoroughly improved my admiration for him. Just the idea of a young Oz growing up and seeing a guy from Cincinnati making it to the big time was enough for me to say, I love this guy. And then watching him work was smooth and spectacular. Then when he went crazy, that was, a whole nother level. Unfortunately, the accident really, messed it all up, and, his life ending abruptly was, terrible. But, Brian Pillman was always my guy growing up.
Great.
I remember him and Tom Zink tag teaming together in WCW back in the day, man. Flying Brian Pillman in the Z-Man.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yep.
Loved Brian Pillman. He was.
Yeah.
He just made me feel like you could achieve the dream.
He was a supremely talented individual. Mine, I have a couple. It's hard for me to narrow it down because, like, if I have to just say my favorite, like, personality worker, it's Scott Hall. It always was. Even back to the Florida days when he was Big Scott Hall with the curly ass hair and the mustache, to the Razor Ramon, and then when he came back over, came to WCW and that NWO thing, I was sold, man. That guy was fucking money for me. I'm blown away. I'm blown away that Vince never put the belt on him. It was ridiculous. Thank you, Orville Nation. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. He had the Intercontinental title and that was it. But yeah, he put the belt on, and I like Kevin Nash, man. I do. I like Kevin Nash, but yeah, you put the belt on him, and he was like the most boring ass. The only reason he had the belt in WCW is because he wrote himself into it because he was booking.
Well, and let's be real. Vince's excuse for putting the belt on Nash is he turns heads in airports, right?
Yep.
He always loves saying that shit when it comes to tall guys. But Scott Hall was no slouch. Especially Razor Ramon. His character was so.
It was over. He was over.
Exactly.
He was over. All fucking day, dude was over.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was so ridiculous, to me he had such a great feud with Michaels. I mean, god damn, they could tear the fucking house down. And, Shawn Michaels, I love him to death. And if I had to pick right now, gun to my head, would I be a WWF or a WCW? And I always go to WCW. Always. I always. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. In your lower third, your nameplate.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to DDP or Rocky?
Oh, that's always DDP, man. That's always
Okay, because
DDP.
when I think People's Champ, it's got to be Page.
Yep.
Like I understand Rock's egotistical concept of saying he's the People's Champ. Don't get me wrong, that was fun, but
Yep.
the legitimate People's Champion was Diamond Dallas Page.
He didn't get into the business until he was my age. He was 41 years old when he broke in. And
You talk about inspirational, my goodness.
Yep. He is that man. And like I said, I was always like an NWO fan.
Yeah.
I loved Page. I loved him. He was such a fucking good.
Oh, well, you talk about Scott Hall. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash collectively made Diamond Dallas Page a top babyface.
Oh God,
Now, it took Page too, but
Yep.
that night that he said no,
Yep.
with his actions, was that was it. That was I mean, he was already on his path. He was already on the path to becoming a top draw, but like that night was.
Yeah.
He was the reason I used my first finisher was the diamond cutter. I used that, and I hit an RKO out of nowhere before Randy Orton was doing it. I did that shit in my first match, man. It was fucking funny. Go ahead, Tony.
I was just gonna say, like, I've seen some matches in my day. I've never been to a WrestleMania Royal Rumble, but like we were talking a few weeks ago with Jeff, I did go to No Way Out 2001. Got to see 3 Stages of Hell. I've seen some other really cool matches in my day, but I don't think any match I've seen in person had the same electricity as Halloween Havoc 1998 DDP versus Goldberg.
And I didn't even the streak should have ended. You mean the night the streak should have ended?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even realize there was an issue with the pay-per-view. I guess it shut off. I was there in person. They did Halloween Havoc in Vegas every year. I mean, when he hit that diamond cutter on Goldberg, I was out of my seat. Like I thought it was over.
It should have. I mean, it was over. like Jim Cornette's. Oh, that's a great story. Is it over? No, but it's finished anyway. In that case, it really was over because Page should have won the title that night. I mean, like Bill had his moment in the sun, and that should have been the sunset of the moment because I had that whole GOAT conversation shit from earlier. My coworker's like, "Oh, Goldberg could be," and I'm like, "If you're high out of your mind."
Liked Goldberg, to be honest.
I said the only I said you if you're saying intensity, he's the greatest at intensity, maybe. But I told him, I said even in intensity, I would say Brock has him beat on it.
Oh yeah.
But
Brock's legit too.
Presentation, maybe you're saying he's the greatest the way he was presented. Okay, maybe. But again, I think Brock was presented, especially in his early days, like he was presented as the legitimate next big thing. So I don't think Goldberg was ever the greatest of anything except for being Goldberg.
In that moment in time, if you take the time that streak ran and you encapsulate that, there was nobody that was that white hot at that time. There wasn't. I've got a 1997 Goldberg t-shirt in my closet right over here. Sent to me by a very good goddamn friend of the program, Coach Loudy, who I'll be meeting up. I don't mean to brag, but I'll be meeting up with Jeff and all the bullshitters over at Coach Loudy's wedding in a few months here, and that's going to be fun. But yeah, Loudy, he said, hey, I got a Goldberg shirt. I'm gonna say, I'll send it up, baby.
Is that the wedding in Fort Wayne?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. I heard about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I told Nick, I said, your ass better get into town Tuesday. That wedding's on Saturday. I said, we're pre-gaming, brother. He goes, are you still? I told my wife she's gonna have to drive down separate because I'm coming down Tuesday to meet with Big Rig. She goes, who? I'm like, don't worry about it. He's Brie Larson's husband. Don't worry about it.
So what's the difference between Goldberg, especially around his debut? What's the difference between Goldberg and Ray?
Oh shit.
Because I don't like them both for the same reason.
They're both OP Mary Sue's. The only thing I like about Goldberg is he's a Jew.
Well, here's my defense of Goldberg, and that is the crowd.
Yep.
Now, obviously the crowd that was in the theater I was in seeing Ray wasn't chanting her name. wasn't saying, "Hey, let's get this done in 3 minutes and just get out of here." Well, I mean, they might have been saying that one, but not for the same reasons for Goldberg. But yeah, so I think it's the crowd is the big difference. Now, you can't make that argument for a theater, but I think the crowd is what really helped Goldberg, and that's why that I think DDP should have beat him that night at Halloween Havoc, is because you were never going to get bigger than that moment. And
Oh.
if a babyface beat a babyface, he wasn't going to be he wasn't really going to feel the same impact as like they thought, oh, we gotta soften the blow by fucking it all up. No, what you need to do is make a legit guy beat a legit guy, and it's all a-okay. Sorry, I'm not actually answering your question because I don't know how. Sorry.
They talk about Goldberg was, one of the few legit superstars they built. It's like you could have had two huge stars in Diamond Dallas Page and Goldberg. I mean, I agree that was the time. Instead of 2 months later to a cattle prong.
Oh, that was so fucking. That was, and I love, like I said, Hall and Nash. I love.
I was about to say that's your boys.
Dude, I know, but goddamn, I was like, oh, that whole. I was like, you could have ended it there with them, but that's not where it should have ended. But you could have done it and done it right. Like the cattle prod thing was just like, oh god. At least it wasn't something on a pole. I mean, it wasn't Russo and Ferrara with, hey, or Judy Bagwell on a forklift. I mean, fuck, man, come on. I would take anything from that era. Like I said, I will take a WCW Thunder from February of 2001 over anything on Raw from the last 7-8 years. Changed my mind. It's not going to happen.
I was match real quick.
I would rather see Ernest Miller job out to Scott Norton and see Reno work fucking Prince Iake.
Scott Norton was awesome. I love
Scott Norton. Scott Norton is one of the most underappreciated fucking workers.
Oh my goodness,
dude, he was a god in Japan, like, because they work strong style over there. These motherfuckers want to see flippy shit. Nobody appreciates that shit here.
Speaking of WCW Revenge, I used to use Scott Norton when I wanted to beat the hell out of somebody.
Yep.
I do want to defend flippy shit though for a moment, because Nitro was so and Thunder 2 for that matter, don't get me wrong, but WCW was very smart in how they structured their show. And that's one of WWE's big problems right now, is they're lacking structure. Yep. And I'm sure that's going to seem egotistical for me to say that, but within the confines of the WCW show, you had the structure of the cruiserweights being their own distinct style.
Yep.
When people graduated from there, Jericho, for a good example, he kept his flippiness, if you will, but he also elevated himself to that great storytelling ability with his conspiracy stuff. When he's in a TV and US division, he never got above those. But when he was doing the Goldberg gimmick, where he was like, "Oh, it's me this many and you nothing," again, he progressed. And so back to what I was saying about the structure. So flippy shit early, because that gets you in. Especially the people don't even know what they're watching, but they're seeing something cool.
Yep.
But then you after the flippy thing, you've now got somebody there. Well, you want to keep them there. So you're bringing in the big star. You got the Scott Hall. Hey, I know that guy. He sounds familiar. You got Kevin Nash. That I caught my attention. Hulk Hogan. Obviously everybody knows who that is. And so you move on past that, and then you got awesome workers. So now you've got the flippy guy got your attention. The big star kept you. Now we're gonna put William Regal and Fit Finley in the ring, and it's like, wow, I think I like this wrestling thing. Whereas right now with WWE, it doesn't matter if you're cruiserweights cannot get over in WWE because their top guy, or one of, Seth Rollins, is doing the same flippy stuff, but isn't a cruiserweight. I mean, he could be, but he isn't classified as that, so it lessens them. So their impact is nothing, because the guy who's now a heavyweight, but is also not a heavyweight, does the same thing. And what I'm about to say, I'm not saying as an insult to the person. I just want to say that in advance. But this is one of the reasons why I thought it was always a bad idea for Harper from the White family to do the dive. Same as Big E too. So I'm not like knocking the guy who passed, because it was impressive that he could do it, but what it does is it takes away from the guy who only can do that to stand out. Whereas Harper being freaking massive, and Big E too for a different direction, but stand out in different ways. And I don't know if it's Simon Miller or somebody like that recently they released a video and they said,
What Culture? Is he still with What Culture?
He is, yeah. I just can't remember if it was him or one of the other guys from there. They were saying, the problem WWE doesn't want to admit. And it was the idea that all these people are around the same age and should be peaking. And he used Damian Priest, who just came to Raw, and Edge, who just came back to WWE, as an example of both being like 39, 40 or whatever, and they should both be at their peak. And I said, no, the problem is that nobody has the balls to say, until the crowd is on your side, which is hard when there's no crowd, but until the crowd's on your side, you're not being put over. It's the guy who's getting cheered is the guy who's going over instead of this 50-50 stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for ranting.
No, it's all good. It's all good, man. and I was always a fan of the luchadors. And people get that misconception about me, like I like fuck all that flippy shit because I do like that Tennessee style. It has a place. The only thing I don't like to see is you'll see like that's all the crowd wants at every match. And I'm like, you can't do that every match because then that detracts from every match on the card.
Absolutely. Like, you can't have ice cream every meal. Ice cream's no longer special now.
Thank you, man. I don't want to see 9 fucking chairs, 6 fucking kendo sticks in the curtain jerker. I want to see it good now. And people, I don't want to see a shit match in the curtain jerker either. And just because you're jerking the curtain don't mean you're a fucking shitty worker. That means you're picked to go out and get the crowd fucking hot. Because the second match is where a show can fall flat on its fucking face and never recover until the main. If you have a shitty second match.
That's true.
So
it's structure. It's structure. Yep. And the same goes with storytelling. I'm gonna plug myself again because that's what we're here for. So in one of the preview pages that are up on Indigogo right now, I set the groundwork for a volume long story that plays out. I actually asked Jeff not to put any of this up because he has access to all the pages when we were talking last week, because I was like, I want people to watch as it happens, because I set up early that the female lead, her primary power is that she can read all the thoughts of anybody she's around. And so I set up early at the charity show that this kid is thinking, hey, how does it work to read thoughts? It's like a text message. And so she admits to the kid that it is like a text, so she can, see the thoughts. But if it's strong enough, she even gets pictures. And so I play that out. I play with that concept as the story unfolds, and it leads to an interesting ending to the first volume. But you have to have a strong opener, a good middle, and finish strong. Otherwise, nobody's coming back for the next show.
That's it, man. You always leave them wanting more. Always leave them wanting more. That's it. Don't give everything away, man. Leave them hungry for more. And speaking of that, hey, Tony, so did this week's WandaVision do that for you?
So this week's WandaVision was like, I can't even compare a good wrestling storyline, but I know it's there. It just reminds me of like the end of Wonder Woman 84, and it wasn't bad like Wonder Woman.
I don't know if you should make that correlation, bro.
It was like how the end of Wonder Woman 84 was like, and if everybody would tell the truth and this and that, and it's all like preaching and it's smelling its own farts and thinking it's making a great point, but it's not. That's kind of what WandaVision did with its surprise. It's like, surprise everybody. It's exactly what you said it was before the first episode debuted. Like, and they had a whole musical and so. Yeah, sorry, a legit
musical.
I didn't mean to go I didn't mean to spoil. I'm sorry, but
Like a legitimate musical angle?
what's that?
Well, no, it's kind of like a title sequence musical.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
taken aback by that.
No,
I mean, anything's possible in the show, but like I was surprised.
It's not a Ghostbusters 2016 musical, so don't worry about that. There are no
There's a musical in that?
Yeah, dude.
I never watched that. I keep forgetting it existed.
It's out there in the ether, and it's fucking horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, I plan on leaving it in the ether. let it just be there.
I'd rather sniff ether than fucking watch that movie ever again. Oddly enough,
It's just all I was saying that it's just for what the big surprise was. It's kind of like, yeah, we know.
yeah, the reveal, and this is all I'll say. The reveal, we'll call it that. The reveal for me was, it didn't melt my mind. You know
You
what I
guys
mean?
don't have to be shy. I'm still gonna watch it. Just go ahead and.
Okay, well, are you sure?
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, so they come out and they tell you that Agnes is Agatha Harkness.
No way.
And it was like, okay, so they actually used her comic name. Like, I didn't know if they were going to go with, Agnes the whole time, or if they were actually going to call, and they did. They called her Agatha Harkness. So I'm like, okay. So we see her purple magic. We see her purple magic, and no, it's kind of like, yeah, they do like a whole musical. Like, it was all Agatha. How'd that go, Tony? Fuck,
It was Agatha all along.
Yeah, it was Agatha all along. That's what it was.
Through the different episodes.
Yep. Yeah, the one scene, like, before the reveal happened, when Wanda's sitting there and she's talking to the camera, like, a la, what is that? Modern Family. When she's sitting there talking to the camera, all Modern Family style, and you hear, well, did you ever think you might have deserved that? I was like, holy shit. Like, so somebody just broke the fucking fourth wall, and she's like, excuse me?
You're not supposed to talk.
Yeah, and then you see, they do the reveal, and it's like, you see her, it's Agatha sitting back there. I do have to say, though, like, the basement tunnel under the house was pretty fucking cool. That was pretty cool when when she found, she's like, where are the boys? Because she had the kids. And if you listen to the shit she says, she's like, I actually bit a kid once.
Yeah, that's funny.
She said that earlier in the episode.
And what about the kid too? When the kid was like, "You're quiet on the inside." Like,
yeah, because he's the one that has the fucking the mental power. We saw him. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So it's like, what happened to the kids? Like, did she fucking? Are they gonna go that dark? Did, like, this bitch off those kids?
I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Feel free.
Oh, I was just gonna. All I was gonna say is that I saw a headline today, which I didn't open the article because I hadn't watched the episode, but I saw a headline today that said that the finale of the show is darker than expected. So that's literally all I was gonna say, because I don't know. I mean, I suspect they wouldn't kill the kids, but
I don't think they would, because they're using the setup for the Young Avengers.
Who's to say they exist?
True.
What happened to Vision when he tried to leave the Hex?
Yeah, this is true.
He got part in the episode before. Not just elaborated.
Did you notice across the street when Monica was arguing with Wanda, when kind of like all the people kind of froze? Did you see that there was a couple pushing a stroller, and now you're seeing like more kids things around?
Yeah.
Vision called her out on the fact that there were no kids, and so I don't doubt that a bit.
And I was waiting to see something else in the Halloween episode with that woman. She was stuck in the loop, like hanging the thing up, and you seen that single tear?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Down her cheek. Like I told Tony, I said that was like the Native American dude in that commercial from the 80s. That one tear just goes down his cheek. It was like this suburban housewife. She's out of Chardonnay. She's hanging this fucking decoration up, stuck in a time loop, fucking one single tear down her face. She's like, I feel you.
Do you mind if I still break down my Dottie theory, though?
No,
Because
I want to hear it. Because we only saw her once this episode, so I was like, and there was nothing there.
Yeah, it showed her really quick, and I think that's the first time it's shown her since the second episode.
It is.
Is that the blonde?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay, I thought so.
going back and watching before this episode, this most recent episode, going back and watching in the second episode, Agnes tells Wanda Dottie's key to everything in this town, and then goes into, PTA meetings, whatever. But Wanda even mentions, well, should I be myself in front of her? And Agnes laughs at her. But also, I know it's a little thing, but there's a rose that blooms in the end credit scene. If you watch the end credit scene, it builds up the town, and it builds, the Scarlet Witch helmet, and then Vision's helmet, and you can name everything, the water tower, the house, but a rose blooms. And I've been wondering what the rose is, and really they mention roses in front of Dottie several times, and they mention her roses bloom under penalty of death. So then you jump to where she cuts herself. Her blood was red, which I think she's the only adamant object that showed any kind of color like that until they went into color. But that was also where they were trying to get through to Wanda in the radio, and then it just glitched. And who's to say that was Wanda doing that? Maybe it was Dottie, because she was snapping there. Who are you? How come if Agnes can act, why can't Dottie? So I kind of, and they only showed her in that second episode. She played such a prominent role, and she's key to everything in the town, but she's only in one episode until a quick glimpse of her this most recent episode. But I feel like she would have a bigger role, or maybe she does. My buddy even mentioned Emma Frost, which I don't know, maybe, but I think she would have.
My question about that would be, what would be the Rose connection to Emma Frost?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
don't know.
Seeing Emma Frost wouldn't necessarily be bad, but I mean, it's got to make sense. Like I said, this is going to open up the mutants in this in this universe, but it's like how are they going to correlate it? And another thing was when Monica went to meet with her and Jimmy Woo, they went to meet with the military personnel to get her that tank, that rover, that armored rover vehicle. We really got let down there. I feel bad for the actress that played the military girl, because it's like everybody was expecting I heard Reed Richards, is it going to be him? Because they're looking for an aerospace engineer, and he's the smartest man in Marvel. So I don't know. I was kind of disappointed with that. I didn't expect to see Reed Richards, because they've only spoken to John Krasinski, and they haven't really put out a casting call for the Fantastic Four, put it into pre-production or anything yet. So they don't have a director or anything attached to it. But it was disappointing, because I want to see the Fantastic Four, and I want to see them done right. And I say that as somebody who enjoyed the Fox Fantastic Four movies, except for Fan Four Stick. That movie blows fucking goats. Fuck that movie. That, like I said, that's just Josh Trank on too much coke. Right there.
Look at what they did with Evan Peters, though. I mean, so they wouldn't have to put out a casting call for the Fantastic Four. They could put out a casting call for anything and have these actors audition. And if they get the part, then they tell them what it is,
Yeah.
And John Krasinski is going to keep the secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost suspect that, like you said, they wouldn't have to call for anything. It's just say, I want you for this. And they say, yeah, I would like some dollar bills, please.
Yeah. That's I really want to see Krasinski and Emily Blunt play Richards and Sue Storm. I don't know. Honestly, I think Michael Chiklis was probably the best thing that we're gonna get. It's hard to cast the Thing. I heard The Rock's name thrown around for that. I'm like, do you really want The Rock playing a mostly CG character though? But look at Andy Serkis. What he did as Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies. So, and Lord of the Rings with Gollum to much more of an extent. And then he was wasted in the MCU's Claw and killed off for no reason in Black Panther.
I hate that they killed him.
I love that movie, and it was such a fucking waste of a villain. It's like, why you should have killed Killmonger off halfway through the fucking movie.
Like when I think of Claw, I think of Fantastic Four. I think of I wanted him to show up so many more times, and then that happened. I was like, what are you doing?
I know.
Now they're gonna be like, oh, it's multiverse Claw.
After Age of Ultron, I was like, I can't wait to see Claw. Yeah, and
yeah,
and
then they just fucking kill him off.
Yeah.
Hey, I was trying to think of a thing, and I've always thought that it would make sense to cast Vin Diesel someplace else, since all he says is "I am Groot" as Groot. But I'm not sure that I wanted to be Thing. Obviously, I just think that it would make sense if you got this guy under contract to do all this stuff. Why not have him do more than just say 3 words?
Oh, he could do that easily. Look at is it Sean Gunn? Yeah, Sean Gunn plays one of the Ravagers, and he does most of the mocap work for like Rocket and Groot. Yeah, he does like 3 or 4 characters mocap work. So I would not mind Vin Diesel doing a little bit more than that, I don't see why not.
Statham.
That wouldn't be bad actually. I think the personality would kind of line up,
Maybe if not even Thing, like who could you see him as in the MCU?
Statham?
Yeah, because I'd like to say I like him as an actor. I do.
I would honestly say Moon Knight. I think he could do him. But didn't they attach? Was it? No, oh shit! Who was it? Who the hell was it? Was it Keanu? Not Keanu. Was it Keanu Reeves?
I thought it was Apocalypse guy.
Oh no, Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac. Yeah, Oscar Isaac. That's who it was. Yeah, he's gonna play Mark Spector. That's who they got. I was like, I thought they cast him, but I couldn't remember. I was like, fuck. Then they talked about Keanu Reeves or something, but I think that got debunked. So,
I saw him rumored to be Craven recently, but
yeah. That was a no-go. That was a no-go.
Wasn't he rumored to be in the Eternals or something like last year as well, like as a villain or something?
Was it Thor 4 or was it the Eternals?
So something like that.
I think it was the Eternals.
He's a popular fellow, I can tell you that.
Well, Marvel's been trying to find something for him for years, for a movie wise. And I mean, it makes sense. I mean, look, you need to have something that's actually going to draw your core comic audience in. I'd say make him Ghost Rider, honestly.
I'm not anti Ghost Rider, but here's the biggest thing that Marvel has coming down the pike, and no knock on anything they got coming, but as soon as X-Men show up, you're gonna need star power, and you've got an endless roster of A-list characters. And maybe A-list is too strong a term, but like Cyclops needs to be a strong leader. Yeah. Wolverine needs to be a strong presence. Gambit has to have amazing attitude, and that's just dudes. Like, you got Rogue, she has to be awesome. Storm, my goodness, and the list goes on. So you're not going to run out of roles for actors, that's for sure. Once you get X-Men up in here, it's going to be roles nonstop.
Oh yeah, they are, like you said, no doubt. They've got enough you've got enough characters to go around. You just need actors. And that's the thing, man. There's some of these people, it's like Angelina Jolie in the Eternals to me. That does nothing. That movie, the premise, that it does nothing for me. And that sucks, because that's kind of a cosmic story, which goes along with Guardians of the Galaxy, which I absolutely love. I
think Guardians gives me hope for anything that they do, because I was a Guardians fan before these movies, but once I got everybody else on board, now they did make changes that I wasn't in love with, but whatever, they're fine, they're fun films. So, because I never saw Drax as the way that Drax is portrayed, but I'm not anti it. Good job, Dave. I'm glad you're having fun. But
I just picked that up.
Oh, there you go. That's
Yep.
what's up.
That's one, and it's like they changed the characters, like you said, so much from the comics, and the team is completely different. It's more of a rotating roster in the comics. So, and this will be the last movie for this iteration of the team anyway, because they're supposed to bring in Adam Warlock at some point, who's been rumored to be, I think, Zac Efron at one point. Then I can't remember who else. But I have no knock on Zac Efron because he's a damn good actor now. He really is.
Well, after a 5-year gap, why not bring him in an Endgame instead of stupid Brie Larson?
I know. That was the fucking thing. They teased him in the Guardians movie. Yeah, you could have done it in Endgame, which would have made a perfect sense. But no, they missed him because he was like a key figure in the Infinity Saga.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you don't even have him in there. It's like, holy shit! I just bought the trade for that. The whole fucking story. I'm like,
yeah. So speaking of trades, I'm gonna segue back.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember how I said that I named the company Gamble Comics because I'm taking a chance and I want you to take a chance on the stories too. Well, instead of calling my trades, I call them silverbacks. Just because I think it's a fun play off the gamble and everything. But when I collect 1 year's worth of silverbacks, they're going to be called the gold standard. Which is just a fun thing. But eventually, because again, I have faith that this is going to work. Fingers crossed. Eventually, once enough product is out, I'm gonna start putting out deluxe editions like Marvel and DC do, but they'll be called Platinum Plus for this here project. And so it's just a fun play on a tradition, but updating it to fit my taste.
Well, hell yes, sir. We certainly hope that you get the backing that you need. We will we'll keep sharing this link out, ladies and gentlemen. If you could just, if you're not going to back it, at least share it out, retweet it. Draw attention to these independent artists that we focus on here on this on Fandom Menace Friday night, man. This is the independent creators. We want to definitely promote their work, just like we have every time we have somebody on. So this seems like a good place to leave it off here. We are about the 2 hour and 8 minute mark, which this show is normally 90 minutes, but we stayed a little bit over time tonight for you guys. So thank you very much. I want to give Oz the solo one more time. Thank you, sir, for coming on, and go ahead one more time and plug the book. I'm going to drop the link right now in the chat.
Thank you so much for having me. The story is Everlasting Survivors. It's 3 heroes, the first 3 heroes in this world, and the story is how that having powers affects their lives. You'll see it play out. Watch the evolution of the characters. See every thing that changes, and it's going to be fun. Things aren't just handed to them. They all struggle, and that's what makes them grow.
Excellent, man. Do you have a YouTube channel you're working on right now, or?
I haven't, but I might have to, because the key to the game is getting the word out there. And thankfully, Jeff was able to hook me up with you, and he said he's got more connections. And this is only my second interview, so he said we'll see how this one goes, and hopefully he's a fan. And if I have to start a YouTube channel to get everybody's attention, then I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But I was hoping to tell my stories in print.
Well, that's what we want. That's the end game for you, man. That's what we want to see you do, is get those.
But this has been fun, so I'd love to come back sometime.
Absolutely, man, and thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. I'm gonna toss it over to my man Tony Tone Deaf right now.
Yeah, I just want to say too, we always talk about woke this and woke that and complain, and a lot of the times feel cornered by the crap content. So I mean, this looks like a great story. Support this man, show him some love. Let's get him over that mark so he can continue to not only pursue a dream, but give us good entertainment, give us something to look forward to, because that's what we really need to focus on right now is building our own platforms and building our own means of entertainment, because obviously these people in Hollywood, they've just gone insane. And I think we all know that at that point, and they don't care. They don't care if you're a draw, they'll fire you. Okay, they don't care how much love you get. They don't. I mean, if you don't toe their line and toe their ideology, you can't be a part of their club. So eventually, there's going to be more of us than them when they keep kicking people out. And people like the Great Oz here, he's building up his own empire, and the least we can do is show some love, because we're the first ones to complain when we hear about something's woke or bad storytelling, but when opportunities like this come, we got to take advantage of those. So, the links in the chat, go support them. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Thank you as always, Tony, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Tony, you're awesome. Thank you.
Tony is a fucking amazing co-host, man. I'm Itep Wakui, and I'm the head idiot here at the Place to Be Reviews. Thank you guys for coming out tonight, man. Tommy and Tony have been sharing links in the chat. Tommy's a mod here too. I appreciate you guys. Tony, everything you do, man, I do appreciate it. Manliness and Motivation, Keely Chow, Nano Reaper, Gaming Vulture, Ask the Cheese Gaming. There was Redneck was up in here earlier. Orville Nation, JM 2021, Daisy DeVille. Man, thank you guys all. I just appreciate you spending your kicking your Fandom Menace Friday night off right here with us at the Place to Be Reviews. What have I got coming up tomorrow? You'll get my full WandaVision episode 7 break. Actually, I'm sorry. No, you won't get it tomorrow. I'm getting rid of my kid for the weekend. He's going to grandma's house. So tomorrow I am going to probably go out and have some adult beverages and hang out with my wife and not do anything YouTube tomorrow at all. Sunday, you'll get my full episode 7 WandaVision review, which will give me, I'll probably watch it a couple times Sunday morning and then release the video Sunday afternoon. Monday morning, oh God, you get fucking Batwoman. Yes, you get another Batwoman review. I have given myself 3 frontal lobotomies this season already, and we're only up to episode 6 of fucking Batwoman. So I fucking hate you guys, but I love you at the same time. So that's why I keep reviewing this shit show for you. Episode number 140 of the podcast Monday night will feature J-Man is going to join us for the first time. He is a Marvel fucking like the man is a Marvel fucking encyclopedia. Huge fan. So we'll be talking some more WandaVision on Monday night, be breaking that down here, as well as the usual goodness. You'll, of course, have just the headlines and a great panel and a great discussion. So you have that. Tuesday, you'll be getting a single release video from me. No Prodigal Son review this week on Wednesday, but Going Rogue will be right back here Wednesday night. I'll be on The Dump over on Sporking News Podcast before that. Thursday, you'll have the morning show, episode 3 of Mornings with the Place to Be Reviews right here. And boy, have I got a fun new introduction package put together for that. Tony's seen it. I put that together last night. I worked on that bitch for about 3 hours. So you guys will enjoy that. So get ready, set your calendar, set your clocks, 9 a.m. next Thursday right here, Mornings on the Place to Be. Next Friday is shit. That's March 5th. I'll be live noon Friday on Lorena's Lunch Table with Lorena Creole and Fat Steven Seagal. Yeah. And then Fandom Menace Friday Night Live right back here. Next Wednesday night on Going Road, joining us will be Paulie from Latino Slant, Culture Casino, and Mad Mardigan. And that's where I'm leaving it tonight, guys. We're done. That's it, man. I'm Itep Wakui of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of yous. And remember, if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one. Boom!